Hi! So, Common Core is all the buzz in the education world today. For us middle school teachers, we're confused about it. Let's be honest. Elementary teachers, in some way, have seen it in practice. So, what does it mean? Well, I just want to share my aha moments. I had two in particular about Common Core. The first is, what exactly is Common Core? I did what I would do with my students if they didn't know the meaning of something. I'd say, go get a dictionary, look it up, and you come back and tell me what it's all about, right? So that's what Miss Jones did. I got a dictionary. I looked up the three words common, core, and standards. So let's do it together. If you look up common, what's the definition? You're going to say the same. That is true. You're going to say identical. That is true. But according to the dictionary, it also means community. What community are we talking about in Common Core standards? We're talking about the community of K through 12 students as well as teachers. Okay, so now we have core. What is core? It's key, it's foundational. So what are the key foundational things we're talking about in Common Core standards, in common standards, I should say? Well, the core are key concepts, foundational concepts that you can build upon every year throughout the student's educational career. So again, we have our community common of K through 12 students that are taught key foundational concepts. What are standards? Standards, according to the dictionary, are established. That's it. What does established mean? What does that mean to you? Think about your classroom. You have an established way of doing things, such as walk in the door, you do A, B, C, and D. That's all it is. So Common Core standards are our community of K through 12 students and teachers who are taught key foundational concepts that build over that K through 12 school career, and they're established throughout the United States. So all teachers are teaching the same concepts at certain grade levels. So the question though is, you are told what to teach, when to teach it per se, but you are not told how to teach it. And I know you know this. And that's where the confusion comes in, is how, as a middle school math teacher, do I set my students up to just, it's been talked about, do a lot of hands-on, or how do I teach this? Well, I thought about it this way for teaching middle school math. How would I teach science? Or how, when I was in college, was I taught to do, science activities? If you think back, when it comes to science, I am going to tie it to middle school math, but when it comes to science, right, you actually draw on prior knowledge. You're told, well, what do you know about this? Now form a hypothesis, an educated guess. Now carry out the experiment. You're not told how to carry it out. You just have to carry it out. Then you have to come to a conclusion based on several trials that you did within your experiment. You come up with the conclusion, right? And you talk about it. So teaching middle school math, to me, it's going to have to be done the exact same way if they don't want, if we're not to, not they, if we don't want to give our students, because we don't want to give them the answers to everything, you're going to do it the same way. So let's say in 5th grade, they learned about graphs, right? Okay, 6th grade, I want my students now to predict what is going to happen with a particular line, right? So I say, okay, based in 5th grade, what did you know, or what do you know about line graphs? We talk through it. Then I say, okay, so what do you think is going to happen if I did this? What do you think will happen if I do that? There's their educated guess. Then I say, okay, well, I want you either together or within a group to carry out a trial and see if that's what happens with these 3 lines. Then I come back and I say to my kids, okay, so what did happen? Then we talk about, so what rule can we assign to a situation like this? And thereby my kids have gotten in there, delved deep, and gotten their final answer, their conclusion. That, to me, is how I'm going to have to teach Common Core. It really just means tweaking what we do, because a lot of times I put my students in charge of finding the answer, but I think I go a little bit, I mix up the steps that I just said, and from now on, it'll have to be more of let them tell you what they know, leave them in charge of the experiment, And so instead of us, most lesson plans, right, are taught teacher instruction, class instruction first, then independent work. We're going to have to reverse that order. We're going to have to put independent work first, and then the class discussion or teacher discussion after that. So again, these are just my ahas. No one's saying this is how you do it. It's just what I've come by. I hope this is in some way helped. If you have any ideas or how you're actually going to implement Common Core within your classroom, math classroom, please come to my website, middleschoolmathactivities.com, and share how you're going to implement it and help us as middle school teachers get a better idea of how to teach it, because we have to band together so that we get better resources so that we can equip our students to be successful. So again, thanks for watching. Have a great school year.